What if the person you fell in love with never existed? What if the late-night calls, the whispered promises, the photos you stared at with hope, were all part of a carefully woven lie? This is not just a story about online dating gone wrong. This is about predators who use fake personas not only to steal hearts, but to destroy lives. Because in today's world, killers don't need dark alleys. They only need Wi-Fi. The internet was built to connect us, a place to meet, to share, to fall in love. But with anonymity comes danger. Behind every username there might be truth, or a mask. Catfishing has become one of the strangest and darkest byproducts of the digital age. It isn't just harmless roleplay. It can be a tool for control, manipulation, and in extreme cases, murder. Take Thomas Montgomery, for example, a middle-aged factory worker in New York, living an ordinary life. But online he wasn't Thomas anymore. He was Tommy, an 18-year-old Marine, handsome, confident, ready to sweep a girl off her feet. And for a while he did, until fantasy collided with reality and blood was spilled. Why do catfish killers succeed? Because humans crave connection. We want to be seen. We want to be wanted. When someone showers us with attention, even through a glowing screen, the brain lights up as if it were real. Catfish know this. They build perfect versions of themselves. They are always attentive, always complimentary, always saying exactly what you want to hear. And when suspicion rises, the gaslighting begins. Photos? Fake but convincing. Excuses? Elaborate, detailed, believable. Phone calls? Sometimes staged with borrowed voices. The victim begins to doubt themselves. Maybe I'm paranoid. Maybe they really do love me. And that single seed of doubt? That's the hook. Think about this. Have you ever second-guessed your instincts online? That hesitation, that's where manipulation begins. It started like a teenage romance. In 2005, a 17-year-old girl named Jessie began chatting with Tommy, a young Marine. What she didn't know was that Tommy was actually Thomas Montgomery, a 46-year-old man with a wife and kids. But Montgomery wasn't the only one talking to Jessie. A coworker of his, 22-year-old Brian Barrett, began messaging her too. Montgomery became consumed with jealousy. In his mind, he was no longer Thomas, the middle-aged man. He was Tommy, and Jessie was his. When Barrett entered the picture, Montgomery saw him not as a friend, but as an enemy. On September 15, 2006, Barrett finished his shift at work. He walked to the parking lot. 3 gunshots rang out. He collapsed beside his truck. The killer? Thomas Montgomery, the man who couldn't let go of a fantasy. And the twist? Jessie wasn't real either. She was actually Mary Sheeler, a 45-year-old woman pretending online. Layers of lies. A fantasy inside a fantasy. And at the center of it all, an innocent man dead. Why do people like Montgomery cross the line from deception to murder? Narcissism. The fantasy becomes more important than reality. They see themselves as the hero in their own story. Sociopathy. They feel no empathy for the emotional or physical damage they cause. Obsession. They become addicted to the persona, unable to live without it. Gaslighting. They bend reality, making victims, and even themselves, question what's real. Montgomery stopped being Thomas. He lived as Tommy. And when that fantasy was threatened, he acted violently to protect it. Victims of catfish killers describe the same emotions over and over: hope, confusion, shame. They wanted love. They ignored red flags because the affection felt real. And when the truth came out, many blamed themselves. But they weren't weak, they were human. Because catfishing is designed to exploit the best parts of us: trust, empathy, and belief in love. Catfish killings are more than tragedies. They're warnings. We live in a world of curated profiles, perfect smiles on Instagram, carefully edited TikTok. We all wear digital masks to some degree. But predators take that to extremes, building entire fake people designed to deceive. Society loves online love stories. Two strangers meeting in the vastness of the internet and finding something real. But the Montgomery case showed the other side. When fantasy turns to obsession, and obsession to blood. And Montgomery wasn't alone. The Talhotblond case. Brian Barrett's story was turned into a documentary called Talhotblond, exposing how lies spiraled into murder. The case of Carly Ryan, Australia, 2007. Carly was just 15 when she fell for a teenage boy online. But the boy was actually a 50-year-old man. When she resisted him, he killed her. The case of Kaylee Haywood, UK, 2015. Groomed online by men posing as peers, she was lured from home and murdered. Different names, different countries, same pattern. Predators hiding behind screens, victims trapped by trust. So what do catfish killers teach us? That trust online is not the same as trust in real life, that appearances can be illusions, and that empathy, our greatest strength, can also be our weakness when used against us. So the next time someone online feels too perfect, too attentive, too good to be true, play detective. Ask questions. Look closer. Because behind that screen you might not find love. You might find danger. This was Catfish Killers. Stories of deception, manipulation, and murder in the digital age.